Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a really incredible medical transformation by exploring a massive 25-year bibliometric study. We are going to track exactly how extracorporeal shockwave therapy went from being a super niche, purely mechanical tool to an advanced biological tissue regenerator that is fundamentally changing how we approach human healing. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the chronic pain challenge. Second, enter shockwave therapy. Third, how shockwaves relieve pain. Fourth, 25 years of research. And finally, number 5, the future of regeneration. All right, let's kick things off with section 1, the chronic pain challenge, looking at the global burden of musculoskeletal pain. I know, it sounds totally like a premise from a science fiction movie, right? But we really have to ask the core question of today's explainer. How on earth can simple sound waves actually heal a bad knee, a frozen shoulder, or a completely debilitating lower back? Well, the stakes here are absolutely massive. Back in 2019, the World Health Organization officially classified chronic pain as an independent disease category all on its own. So it's not just a symptom of something else anymore, it's the disease itself. And with musculoskeletal disorders causing this huge wave of global disability, not to mention the ongoing devastating opioid crisis, the medical world desperately needs safe, non-invasive treatments. We literally need alternatives to pharmacology. Which brings us right to section 2. Enter shockwave therapy, a non-invasive solution that has been gaining some serious traction lately. So what exactly is it? Put simply, ESWT is a completely non-invasive therapy that delivers precise, high-energy acoustic waves directly into injured tissue. Historically, you might have actually heard of this tech being used for breaking up kidney stones, a process called lithotripsy. But today, it's a real game changer. It's widely used by physical therapists and orthopedic specialists for musculoskeletal conditions like plantar fasciitis, tennis elbow, and even knee osteoarthritis. Now for the really fascinating part. Let's move to section 3, how shockwaves relieve pain. Because the plot twist here is exactly how these acoustic waves get your body to heal. The secret lies in a core concept called mechanotransduction. It's a big word, but basically, it's a biological process where your cells physically feel a mechanical stimulus, in this case, the acoustic shockwave, and they convert that mechanical stress into chemical activity. You are essentially using targeted mechanical stress to trick your own body into kickstarting its biological healing engine. Think of it literally like calling in a biological construction crew. First, the shockwaves cause targeted microstress and cavitation deep in the tissue. This local disruption actually signals the body to attenuate or dial down chronic inflammatory responses. Then comes the real magic, local angiogenesis, which is just the formation of brand new blood vessels. Finally, with all that increased blood flow and cellular signaling, the body rebuilds the tissue from the ground up. It fixes the root cause of the pain rather than just slapping a Band-Aid over the symptoms. Now, to prove this construction crew analogy isn't just a nice theory, let's dive into section 4, 25 years of research looking at global data from the year 2000 to 2025. The data brilliantly illustrates this explosive shift in scientific consensus. You can see a rapid acceleration and a massive spike in global research publications that really starts around 2015 and peaks between 2020 and 2023. And this perfectly mirrors the aging global population and the urgent clinical demand for non-opioid pain relief. The scientific community is clearly heavily invested in this. Geographically, we've got a fascinating scientific rivalry going on. China currently produces the sheer highest volume of research papers in this field. But interestingly, Germany actually holds the highest citation impact. Why is that? Well, it's because German research teams produced the foundational, highly cited early randomized controlled trials in the 2000s that proved, beyond a doubt, that ESWT actually works for things like plantar fasciitis. And watching how this research builds over time is super interesting. Analyzing keyword clusters reveals it has evolved in 3 distinct phases. Phase 1 in the early 2000s was just asking basic exploratory questions like, does this relieve heel pain at all? By phase 2, we started seeing rigorous randomized controlled trials. But phase 3, where we are right now, is incredible. It's entirely focused on quality of life and combining shockwaves with advanced regenerative medicine like platelet-rich plasma to tackle really deep, complex issues like knee osteoarthritis. This 25-year evolution perfectly sets up our final topic, section 5, the future of regeneration, because we are moving way beyond mere symptom relief here. The scientific literature confirms a massive paradigm shift. We've totally moved past viewing shockwaves as a blunt hammer that just mechanically numbs pain or breaks up calcification. Today, we understand them as a highly sophisticated, precise tool for cellular tissue regeneration. We're talking about healing deep, complex structures like the knee joint for true long-term recovery. To summarize the paper's main takeaway, ESWT has fundamentally shifted its identity from mere symptom relief to long-term biological tissue repair. It isn't just treating the pain anymore. It is literally commanding the body to heal the underlying damage itself. Which leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question to think about. If targeted sound waves can essentially command our own cells to rebuild damaged tissue from the inside out, how close are we to a future without pharmacological pain management? As this technology continues to evolve, we just might see a day where the global burden of chronic pain is conquered entirely without writing a single prescription. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.